You are listening to the Shoot Your Shot podcast. I'm Jen, and I am the owner of the Vintage Horse Mobile Bar, and I am one of two of our lovely podcast hosts. We are doing another solo episode this week because, as Megan mentioned in our last episode, we are in crazy busy season, which we are so grateful for, but it does call for some times of us not to be able to get together, and that's okay because technology is wonderful sometimes. But with our topic today, I am going to kind of debrief my feelings and emotions around social media. As you know, if you don't know, my Instagram has gained a lot of followers over the last 3 years in my business. I have over 17,000 followers, which I'm so grateful for each and every one of you. It was a goal of mine to reach 10,000 followers, and we have surpassed that, which I am again so grateful for. But I recently went to brunch with two of my old coworkers who I worked with in the hospitality industry. I worked for Hyatt Hotels. I absolutely loved what I did. And we have stayed in touch over the years. We've since all gone our separate ways, but we remain friends at the end of the day. So we were having brunch, and one of them was congratulating me on my success and my journey, and she was just explaining how proud she was of all that I've accomplished. And I was so grateful to hear that. And I was like, yes, it's been such an amazing blessing, which it has. But I also dove into the fact that social media is unrealistic and fake most of the time. And I kind of want to dive into that because I feel like social media has really became almost like a drug for many people. I know I am guilty. I check my phone when I first wake up in the morning. My phone is the last thing I touch before I go to sleep. And it has truly became a lifeline to me. And I feel like if I did not have my phone with me 24/7, I would feel like something is missing. I would never know because I always have my phone with me. And lately I have really been having this sense of I want to say disappointment, but I don't think that's the word I'm looking for. But something along the lines of like guilt, I guess you could say, because I'm a mom of two, and right now it is summer break, and my kids are home with me the next 2 weeks, and they don't have camp, they don't have anything. It is Camp Mom, and while I'm so grateful to be able to spend this time with them, it's also really hard to continue to run my business, and I am in my busy season, so it's just all the feelings. But it kind of went into the conversation I was having with my friends about social media being fake. And what do I mean by that? And I also want to preference that I am the number one believer in how important social media is for your business. I am a true testament to show that I get 90% of my leads from Instagram. And if they're not finding me on Instagram, they are going to my Instagram at some point to see who I am, what I do. And I truly feel like I am winning business because I have such a presence on social media in Reels, and I'm truly creating an experience for my customers so that they can truly feel what it is like to book us and what they're going to feel when they do book us for their wedding or backyard party or corporate event or whatever it may be. So this is not to tell you that I am going anywhere from social media, because I'm not, because I truly am. I've seen the fruits of my labor really come into fruition. And I've just seen the success through my social media and how hard I work with it. But I also am a firm believer that you need to show all aspects of your social media. And I recently did a post that basically just kind of showed the hard truth behind me and the Vintage Horse and having my kids home with me and how guilty I feel right now of being on my phone all day. And I not only run my social media on my phone, but I also run my business on my phone. So when I'm responding to emails or sending a proposal or signing a contract and, sending a deposit, I'm doing most of that through my phone. So my kids are seeing me on my phone majority of the day. I do work in pockets throughout the day, and I do try to put it down whenever I can, but then I feel guilty that I'm not working my business because I'm with my kids, and it's just an ever-going battle. But the premise that I want to get around this topic is you only see the highlight reel of someone's social media, whether that be their business, whether that be their life, whether that be whatever it is, you're only seeing what they want you to see. You have to understand there's a whole nother world behind the scenes. So an example, I am rocking and rolling with my business right now. I am booked every single Saturday, multiple events. Last week, we're in towards the end of July right now. It's July, I believe the 23rd, 24th. I don't know. It's all a blur these days. But let's say mid to end July. And last week I had 4 events. I had 2 events on Thursday, an event on Friday, an event earlier in the week. And I was just go. And I was showing on my social media how busy I was, how crazy I was. And come Saturday, we did not have any events. I literally crashed. And thankfully, my husband was traveling with our kids. He went to go see his family in Massachusetts. So I was able to sleep in for once in my life on Saturday. And I went to brunch with my girlfriends. And then I came home and literally slept on the couch for 4 hours. I'm not even kidding. And I don't ever do that. I didn't even feel guilty, honestly. Usually I would feel guilty about doing it, but my body was just like, Jen, you need to stop. You need to slow down. You need to give me a break so that we can get back to the swing of things. And it was just what my body needed. But nobody saw that. I was sleeping on the couch all day on a Saturday. And I think that this podcast is important for us to tell other entrepreneurs that it is okay if you need a break. It is okay if you want to show the behind the scenes of your life. It is okay if you want to show someone that you're not perfect. I think people resonate with people that they can relate to. And, one of my very good friends who's also a business owner reshared my story about how guilty I feel right now, being home with my kids, being on my phone, not being able to work my business, not being able to play with my kids as much. And I'm just in a really hard season right now. And she sent me a message and she's like, I just have to tell you, this is how I feel too. And that is my goal of my social media and also of this podcast, to let you know that you are not alone. You are not the only one going through the struggles that you think that you're the only one going through. And I also recently posted something along the lines of you're fully booked, and Megan and I have talked about this before. Your fully booked may look different than someone else's fully booked. So if you're seeing all these posts, as we come to half of the year and we only have 6 months left or 5 months left, whatever it may be, a lot of people are posting that they're fully booked for the year, or they're already, halfway booked into 2025. And that's amazing for them. But that could be one event per month, and that's their fully booked. That could be, 2 events per month, and that is their fully booked, because that's all they want to take on. Whereas my fully booked may look completely different, where if I'm not booked 4 events per month, 4 events per week. I have 2 trailers. I want to at least have 2 events per weekend. And that's my fully booked. Whereas that might not be someone else's, they might not want to be that fully booked. So basically the point I'm getting at is social media is not what you should look at every single day. And another reason that I brought this up, coming from our brunch, was one of our other friends who doesn't own a business, but she's been in corporate and been, and she has friends and family and things like that, and, is on social media. And she was explaining that one of her very good friends, and obviously I'm not going to use any names, but one of her very good friends portrays this amazing life on social media and doesn't always have the same effects in person. So, whether she's battling with her kids or fighting with her husband or just really stressed and overwhelmed, she's just not posting those things because that's not what she wants the world to see of her. And while that's totally okay, my friend is she in the outskirts, she has this beautiful life and she's traveling and they're building additions and they're doing this and they're remodeling their kitchen and all these things. And, while that looks amazing, you just don't know what's going on behind the scenes. So I just am using this episode to really dive into how I'm feeling with my social media right now and how I want to portray others with social media. So I've also recently started dabbling in social media management. And what that means is I'm going to be taking on a few clients who are small business owners, because that is the realm that I want to stay preferably. And that's kind of the niche that I want to stick to. preferably in the event industry because I think that that's where I have the most knowledge. So I'm currently working with an amazing sign designer. She does laser printing. She can literally create anything. And I'm currently working with her social media and I'm really having fun with it. So I want to make sure that I am portraying with other people's social media, how they want it, but also that we're not all perfect, because I just think it's so important to relate to others, because I think people buy from people who they like, know, and trust. And if they can relate to you on a personal level, knowing that I'm also a mom of two, I'm also just trying to figure it out every single day. And while on the outskirts, I look like I have this amazing business, which I do. And on the outskirts, I look like I have it all together. I definitely do not. But I just think it's important to know that it's important to be relatable is kind of the gist that I'm getting at. And with that being said, I'm not here saying to bash your social media, because I have also seen accounts who use examples of other clients or other vendors and just talking about them in a negative way. And I truly do not feel that that is where you should take your social media. But I think it's important to use examples so that other people can feel a little bit less alone, because social media is such a ever-growing, I don't really know the words I'm looking for today, because again, my brain is absolute mush and I can't even believe I'm actually getting a podcast in. But while I'm folding laundry and my kids are downstairs watching TV, and yeah, it's a rainy day, so I feel a little less guilty, but I digest. I digress. That's what I meant to say. Oh my goodness, I'm on the wacky train, guys. Thank you for listening in, because if this does not make you feel a little less alone, then I don't know what is. I forgot where I was going. Talking about other vendors, or clients. So when you do kind of like relate your social media, and, I'm going to use myself as an example, I posted that I'm having a hard time navigating life, kids, business, all the things, but that is not to say that I'm not happy in my business. And that is not to say that I am not happy running the Vintage Horse. It's far from that. It is just to show a reminder that we are doing a lot, and it's okay to take a break sometimes, because if you're an entrepreneur, you're probably very similar to how I am, and I am just go, 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 and I truly don't know how to stop, which is a little different from Megan, where she enjoys the slow season and kind of like taking it all in and all of that, whereas I thrive during busy season. But right now, my busy season is just a little bit full, and my plate is kind of like, I went to the buffet and I just got way too much food, and that's kind of what my plate looks like right now. But I have to remind myself that this is a season, and this season is just really, really hard right now, because I'm not only navigating a business, I'm not only navigating my kids and my family and my husband turning 40, and hopefully he's not listening to this, but maybe something is in the works. I think this is actually going to come out before he turns 40. So, after he turns 40. I'm not going to say anything else, but yeah, I'm just balancing a lot right now. And I know Megan's word this year was balance. So maybe she could teach me a few things on how she's doing. But my word this year was evolve. And I truly feel that's where I'm going. I think another reason that I'm all over the place this year is because I am feeling called to more in my business, and I'm feeling called to another direction. And I've said this before, the Vintage Horse is not going anywhere. My mobile bar service is not going anywhere. It's going to be rocking and rolling. I've allowed it to be set up where I no longer have to work events. I truly don't know that I love being behind the bar anymore. I think I love the aspect of being able to send my girls, who do an amazing job. So I think that that's the route that I'm in. So I feel called to align myself and evolve into another form. And I think that's where the social media management is coming in. And I really want to kind of take on more of a role of that. But yeah, this is a season, guys, and I am fully in it. But I love it. I love it. I really do. I just think that I needed to stop at like the the chicken on the buffet and not get the pasta and the extra carbs. My analogy today is actually hilarious. But yeah, so basically I just wanted to kind of come on and share that this episode is really around showing social media and showing your behind the scenes and showing the ugly truth behind it. I'm going to use another example. Another mobile bar and I had an amazing conversation. She posted something where I felt called to ask more about it. And she posted something along the lines of, moving forward, any events that had 60 guests or more, we are basically going to reevaluate our contract and kind of like how, I don't know the word to use, but like how we do things. So I was like, oh, like, what is this about? Like maybe she had some tips on something that wasn't working for her. So I asked her about it and she started responding, and I was like, I think I need a voice text for this because this just sounds too juicy via Instagram conversation. So she sent me a voice memo, and I just felt so bad for what she went through. Very long story short, she had a wedding, and the guests of the wedding were just very, very heavy drinkers, and it was just way above and beyond the normal heavy drinkers where they were ordering 5 drinks at a time, which is not what we do. And they ran out of all the supplies within the first 2 hours of their event. And I have been there, done that. And we have solutions for, things like that when it happens. But she also said that, the client went out and got more supplies and came back with margarita mix. And if you know mobile bars, we do not use margarita mix. We steer far, far away from that. We take pride on fresh ingredients, fresh margarita mix. We fresh squeeze our limes and lemons, and we make our own simple syrup. And, that is what we take pride on. And that is why we were considered a luxury service, because we go above and beyond the margarita mix. So anyway, she was just very defeated, and she was yelled at, and she was, it was just an event that she was out of her control, and she did the best that she could in the place that she was in, but she took it as a lesson learned. And fortunately it was a wedding. The bride and groom were the nicest couple. It was the other guests that were really, giving her the bad experience. But she took a lot of lessons learned from it. And, she went home, she debriefed. I'm sure she shed a few tears, because I absolutely would have after. I didn't even tell you the full conversation because it's her story to share, but there was a lot more that happened, and she deserved a full cry. Let's just put it that way. But she shared it on her social media, and she shared the behind the scenes of what you really don't see as a small business owner. And she shared like the hidden, details that we go through, where we're printing menus before the event because we forgot to print your menu, and we are cleaning out coolers and scrubbing them, and we're wiping down our trailers so that it's perfect for the next event. And, just behind the scene things that nobody needs to see because that's our job. But also, a lot of people just think as mobile bars, you pull up with this beautiful horse trailer or camper or whatever is the, rig that you're using for your service, and you just pour really delicious drinks. But people don't really understand that you just shopped for hours prior to that. You are stressed out if you have enough ice. You are stressed out if you're going to run out of supplies because you're by yourself on an event and you don't have anyone to go out and help you buy new supplies. So also insert, what's the delivery service? Oh my God. I never use it, but anyway, I used it one time for tequila. I'm not even kidding. We had to order tequila and have it delivered to the event. My client did. But anyway, I'm going in a spiral today because my brain is still fried. But anyway, long story short, the point I'm getting at is she shared her story, and it was just very heartwarming and very, it was a nice thing to see as a fellow mobile bar owner, to know that, again, I'm not alone. So I'm sure her sharing that story was really hard, and she did it in the most professional way. She did not talk bad about any guests or, anyone at the event. She just was sharing her experience as a business owner. And I think that that is the right way to do it. to again allow others to feel less alone. And I think that if you're in the entrepreneur world and you are here to make a difference, I think sharing your story to other people, which Megan and I are here doing, I think that is the number one thing and the number one kind of attribute that I feel like we bring to the table, if that's the word I'm looking for. I need to start not using big words when my brain is so fried. But I just truly feel that we are here to not only service our clients, run our business, but in my opinion, and I don't know if anyone else feels this way, but I am also here to help other people. And I think one way of helping other people is showing them that they're not alone. And just to go into specific to mobile bars, and obviously this goes with photography or being a wedding planner or a florist or anyone in the event industry, it's just good to know that you're not alone. And I think showing the behind the scenes on your social media is truly showing another vendor friend, because that's what we are, that you're not alone in this industry. And you're not alone when the times get really, really tough. And when you think you are alone and you're the only one who can't manage life and balancing a job and a lot of people don't do this industry full time. It's, their side hustle for them. So they do have a full-time job on top of doing this on the side. So I think it's just really showing other vendors and other entrepreneurs that it's hard, it's ugly. There's, so much that goes into it. But knowing that you're not alone and knowing that other people are facing the same struggles as you, in my opinion, just kind of helps me get through the day a little bit easier. Not that I want other people struggling, but I think it's just, it reminds me that the reward is so much greater than I think it is in that moment. Because the moments where I'm not getting bookings, or the moments where, I am getting ghosted by clients, and the moments where people aren't responding to me and I have no bookings and my bank account looks really, really low. And I'm like, oh my goodness, why am I doing this? What am I doing? And then, seeing other people are having a slow season at this time, or other people are, it just reminds you that everything's not perfect. Everyone's not perfect. And that's truly why I wanted to record this episode, because I think it's really important to know that you are not alone. And entrepreneurship is such an amazing journey, and I would not be here if it wasn't hard, because I think that that is what fits my personality. I'm one of those people where if it becomes too easy, it's almost like, okay, I'm done, because I achieved that goal that I had, or I achieved, something I wanted to do. Whereas entrepreneurship is just a wild ride. So buckle up if you're new to this journey, because you're going to love it. You're going to hate it. You're going to cry. You're going to want to throw the towel in. And then you're going to have that one event, or that one piece of business, or that one product that you sold. And it's going to make everything so much more worth it. I am now driving home from another event, and I reminded myself today why I love this business so much. And, yes, I took pictures of beautiful drinks, but I was also sweating profusely inside my trailer, even though I had 2 fans blowing on my face. But I went, to say goodbye to my client, because that's what I do at the end of every event. I go and make sure I say goodbye to the host or whoever booked my services and just say thank you. And they gave me a hug, and they were like, I can't wait to tell everyone about your services. And it just is so rewarding when that happens. And it's so meaningful, because truly they are saying that from the heart. And, I put my blood, sweat and tears into this business because of those exact emotions that come at the end. And, when I was setting up for my event, my client was just watching, and she was just like, this just keeps getting better and better, because I was putting our rugs out and putting our white umbrella and our water station and, all the little details that go into the business. And yeah, I get there an hour and a half before and I'm setting up in the sun, but, just her emotions today were a true reminder of why I love what I do. And just her saying, this is the coolest thing. And it was a surprise for her niece for a bridal shower. And she was just like, this is such a cool welcome experience. And all the guests that came up to the trailer were just like, again, I love this. And it's a reminder because I see the trailer every single day. I see my business every single day. And as entrepreneurs, you're working in your business every single day. So you don't truly get to enjoy that moment anymore because you as the business owner, I don't want to say you're not bored. That's not the word I'm looking for, but you're just in a routine where you're like, okay, this is what I do. Whereas someone who's just seeing your business for the first time, they have that emotion that you had when you first started. And it's just that reminder of, I need to remind myself that this is amazing and people love this and all the things. So I am getting off topic, but basically to full circle this episode, social media is not always what it is cracked up to be. And this is coming from someone who absolutely loves social media. Instagram is my number one platform and I'm not going anywhere. I truly enjoy doing social media. So I think that's also something that you have to understand when you see people who are on social media and they're posting every day and they're creating reels and they're on their stories and they're showing their face. That's something that they enjoy doing. It's an outlet for them. Whereas you might not love social media that much, and that's okay because your bookings are going to be coming from other areas. But just know that social media isn't always what you think it is, and you're just getting the beautiful painted picture, and you're not seeing the rough draft and the chapter 1 of someone's story. So if you are feeling a little unmotivated, I hope this episode gives you a little bit more motivation, and maybe it will motivate you to go post a story of the behind the scenes of your event, or your, when you're in your house working on a project for your business, or, just something behind the scenes to show someone that you get it, you're in the thick of it too, and you're not alone. So enjoy this episode. Thank you for listening. Hopefully Megan and I will be back together in the next episode, and I cannot wait to share more of our journey. Cheers.